too. So as a quarterback, you don't have to be perfect when throwing it to him. You just got to get it somewhere in his vicinity, and he can come up with the catch.
Works his way to the 41, and that is plenty to give him a first down. Third down, a lot of times it comes down to not necessarily who's the most open, who do you trust the most?
No, it's not about the X's and the O's. It's about the Jimmys and the Joes. And when my guy's better than you and I get you matched up out wide and I know I trust you, I'm fine here.
Back to pass, it's Reed. Got it in the middle, it's Concepcion. They're able to get him stopped just shy of the first down mark. Third and short, they'll ride the running back here. They bring him down, but not before he's able to pick up the first down. Texas A&M going quickly.
Oftentimes when offenses get a first down, that's when they like to speed up the tempo. You're seeing them now go hurry up.
On the move. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender. Time winding down in the quarter as they come to the line. And you want to talk about his favorite receiver, it might be everybody based on the number of guys getting touches and a chance to show off their hands in the passing game. One quarter to go, and might we have the makings of a classic fourth quarter finish. They had a chance to mull things over. Let's see how they start the final period here on second down. They'll run play action. Fires to the big fella. He makes the stop at the 33, but 10 yards on that play and a first down. Used the play fake, now to throw. Got away from trouble and got rid of it. Finds his big tight end. Nice gain on that play, but a little bit short of the first down. From the gun, running back gets to give. They make the stop, but he'll have enough yardage for a first down. And the Aggies come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Looking to throw, it's Reed. The throw. He's got the tight end. The ball is down at the 14 after that grab. Going to work on second down in the red zone, and still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. Pulled down at the 11-yard line as they inch closer and closer to pay dirt. The Aggies pounded the rock to move the sticks, now back to work. He's going to lose a yard on that one. Operating in the red zone here on second down. Wants to go up top. Fires to the tight end. They'll get it down to the 10-yard line on that completion. Trying to move the sticks on third down through the air. And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete. So here we are on fourth down, and this field goal kicker is going to face all the pressure in the world. That thing would have hit a string in the middle of the uprights. Perfect. They're back to within a touchdown. 17-10 is the score.
And that's not the way they wanted to end the drive, but nice job being ready and your field goal kicker coming through and putting 3 points on the board.
Bringing it back. And the return man is stopped, and that'll leave it up to the offense on the next drive. Notre Dame has the ball and ready to get moving. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. Working that left side. He'll get a fresh set down, stopped at the 31-yard line. It's first and 10 from the 31. Looking downfield on first down. Makes the catch. It's locked. They got him free for a big gainer to the 43. Timeout called here by the defense. It's the first one they've used this half. Walker to throw. That's caught. It's locked. He works his way inside the 30 down to the 29 and picks up a first down. The defense calls a timeout, trying to get itself organized. They'll keep it on the ground. The clock is on their side. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it. The defense calls a timeout to put together a strategy. To the air on second down. Under fire. Just had to get rid of that one. Good job to avoid the loss. The Irish facing quite a challenge here on 3rd and a mile. Rides the back and leaves it on the option. He's going to lose a yard on that one. 2-minute timeout arrives, and this defense desperately needs to get the football back. So on 4th down, here comes the field goal kicker in a huge spot. Knocked it right through, showing that big range from 48 yards out. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
All right, guys, a little update on what else is happening in college football this weekend. War Eagle. Auburn is putting on a show offensively. They just simply can't be stopped. They're up by 28 over South Alabama. We'll circle back if anything changes in this exciting college football matchup.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. He'll start this drive firing. Got it in the middle. It's Concepcion. That one could really put this drive into high gear as they have a first down at the 37. Wants to throw on first down. Quickly out to the tight end. He works his way across the 40-yard line. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 41. Looking to throw, it's Reed. Fires to the right. And the pass is incomplete, jarred loose by the hit. These fans stepping up to help this defense on 3rd down. They just keep firing. Caught over the middle. It's Bussey. That'll be enough for the first down as they stop him at the 43-yard line. To the air on first down. Caught near the sticks. It's Concepcion. Good, solid pickup there. Now they can start to smell it with a first down at the 31. Looking to throw on first down. Catch in the middle. It's Concepcion.
And that's exactly what this defense needs to do. The clock is your friend. Try to keep them in bounds. No big plays, and let that clock just tick.
Looking for the end zone. And it's caught for the late touchdown. So how about this? Maybe we are set up for a finish.
Well, the good news is you scored a touchdown. You've made this a one-possession game. The bad news is you got to get the ball back. So if you're the head coach, you got to start thinking, how are we going to do that? Are we going onside kick, or do we trust our defense to give it back to the O?
Lining up for the PAT. And the PAT will draw them 1 point closer. 76 yards on the drive for the touchdown. And the scoring play comes on a touchdown pass from 22 yards out.
Yeah, and this is why you put your hands team on the field most of the time. When you know it's coming, and you put those guys that are great catchers of the football. The first guys, what do? They go block. They go blow somebody up. The next guys catch the football, secure it, get your butt on the ground. And most of the time when you do this, the ball game is over.
Not all close games are created equal, but this one, man, what a ride. A matchup between a couple of ranked teams, and certainly it was a memorable one.
No doubt about it. I think there were a lot of eyeballs watching this game, not just fans of these two teams, but people maybe outside of conference affiliation looking in, because this is a ranked matchup. So when you get this win, this is huge in the eyes of the committee with respect to the college football playoff. This win just means more.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, for the college football playoff picture, how big is it to get a big win, a ranked win, who now you're probably going to be matched up head-to-head with who's better, who's going to make the playoff. Big feather in the cap, big day for them.
Thanks so much for spending some time with us. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.